Did you see that when DB came back and played for us, that they got mad that our fan base was booing her?
I don't believe in booing former players unless they left on like some Q type shit.
Sophie Cunningham just dropped a bombshell on her podcast that's flipping the narrative around DeWanna Bonner's sudden departure from the Indiana Fever. Cunningham, who's played with Bonner in both Phoenix and Indiana, finally opened up about what really went down, and it's messier than anyone expected. According to Sophie, Bonner didn't just leave the team. She quit on Caitlin Clark and the entire locker room mid-season, without any real explanation. Cunningham didn't mince words either. She called Bonner's exit unprofessional and exposed a behind-the-scenes drama that fans never saw. Turns out, the story isn't just about one player leaving. It's about broken trust, fractured chemistry, and a team trying to move forward while one of their vets walked out. If you agree with Sophie and think Bonner bailed on the Fever, drop a *** good riddance *** in the comments. Don't forget to *** like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications *** for more behind-the-scenes WNBA drama. Click the video on screen. We'll catch you in the next one.
I like DB because like DB was one of my vets when I was in Phoenix, and then we gathered here into Indiana, and like it was kind of a surprise that she was signed to Indiana anyway, and so we'll take her in a heartbeat. Like, she's a Hall of Famer, she's a hell of a basketball player, can score from anywhere on the court.
When DeWanna Bonner signed with the Indiana Fever, it felt like a game-changing move. This wasn't just another roster filler. Bonner brought championship pedigree, veteran poise, and the kind of leadership that could guide a young core through tough moments. Her resume spoke for itself, and fans were hyped. It looked like the front office had finally nailed a balance, giving Caitlin Clark the experience support she needed to thrive. The move shocked the league, but in all the right ways. For a moment, it seemed like the Fever were building something special.
I'm sure there were plenty of teams going for your services, DeWanna, so why was this the right opportunity for you?
I just feel like it was the location for one. My kids are literally right up the road, and I've spent a lot of time away from them, so that and the core that they have here now is just kind of want to fit in, and be another piece of the puzzle, and hopefully bring the energy dynamic and take us to a different level in the playoffs.
From the outside, it all looked perfect. At her introductory press conference, DeWanna Bonner said everything fans wanted to hear. How excited she was to team up with Caitlin Clark, how committed she was to helping the Fever win, and how ready she was to step into a leadership role. She positioned herself as a veteran mentor Clark needed, and it seemed like the final piece of the puzzle had fallen into place. Even Sophie Cunningham, who had shared the court with Bonner in Phoenix, vouched for her, calling her a Hall of Famer and one of the most dangerous scorers in the league. Clark bought into it too, praising Bonner's presence and leadership, even saying she had the strongest voice in the locker room. The energy was electric. It felt like the Fever were about to level up in a major way. Everything, from the media buzz to the team chemistry, looked championship-bound on paper.
You know, DB is somebody that, he's a Hall of Famer, like a legend, not only a good basketball player, a great person, a great leader. The strongest voice in our locker room is hers.
Then reality hit. Once the games began, DeWanna Bonner's performance completely contradicted the hype. In 9 appearances, she averaged just 7.1 points per game, far below expectation for a veteran of her caliber. Her 3.8 rebounds and 1.6 assists per game didn't just fall short. They exposed a player who looked checked out. But it wasn't just about the stats. Bonner's body language told a real story. She moved like she didn't want to be there. Slow rotations, minimal hustle, and zero urgency. Fans were confused. Teammates exchanged silent looks. And the coaching staff was left scrambling to figure out what went wrong. This wasn't leadership. It was detachment, and it shook the team to its core.
Bonner, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split ya. See ya, wouldn't want to be.
I don't want to come off the bench is not a personal issue. I don't like my role.
The situation hit a boiling point when coach Stephanie White made the tough call to bench DeWanna Bonner, a move almost unthinkable for a veteran who was supposed to lead the team. Let that sink in. A seasoned player, brought in to mentor Caitlin Clark and elevate the Fever, sidelined just weeks into the season. The tension in the locker room was undeniable. Fans who had once celebrated her arrival now felt let down, and teammates who had hoped for guidance were met with silence. That benching should have lit a fire under Bonner, a chance to rise to the moment and prove her value. Instead, it exposed something far deeper than missed shots or lazy defense. What came next revealed a side of Bonner that stunned everyone who had believed in her polished image.
Her minutes had significantly dropped from last year. Well, in turn, if her minutes drop, a lot of her production numbers that she can see and the rest of the league can see also dropped with it. Look, she's just like Natasha Howard. She looks old on the court. All right, not trying to be this is not ageism. She looks like an older athlete. All right, she looks slower on the court, and the team has been lacking energy. It's been a serious problem. Seriously, long overdue. Let her go to the place where she feels.
Being benched was already a blow to DeWanna Bonner's reputation, but what followed turned her from a disappointing veteran into a complete enigma. One day she was riding the bench, barely seeing any court time, and the next, she vanished entirely. No announcement, no farewell, just gone. The Fever began marking her absence as personal reasons, which in sports terms usually means we're just as confused as you are.
Came over here, she signed a max contract. She knew Phoenix didn't have the bread. She got 80 here and went and got the rest over there. I think it's trash.
I wouldn't do anything differently. You took 80 grand from the Indiana Fever. You could have just signed. Like, that's one of the things, like, I don't understand why you take these interviews. I don't understand why someone would take an interview and say that, when the reality is that all you did was took a whole bunch of money from a team to not show up.
Bonner's disappearance unfolded like something out of a bad soap opera. Game after game, fans searched the bench for any sign of her, and came up empty. The team stuck to the same scripted line, personal reasons. But no one was buying it. The confusion was written all over Coach Stephanie White's face every time reporters asked about Bonner's status. Even she looked like she was in the dark, offering vague responses that only raised more questions.
You refuse to show up to work while receiving money, while taking payment. You refuse to show up and do the job. And let's be clear, you wasn't even good while you was here. You was shooting threes hitting the side of the backboard.
But this is definitely going to be a part of her history, man. Because the new wave is taking over. These new fans are watching. So at the end of the day, yeah, it's going to be a part of her history.
The whole ordeal left the Fever in an impossible spot. The most painful part? Watching teammates get grilled about a situation they clearly knew nothing about. Reporters kept pressing for updates on Bonner's return, and players like Caitlin Clark were stuck giving vague, polished answers that fooled no one. The frustration was obvious, even as they tried to stay professional. Clark had been looking for guidance from a seasoned vet. Instead, she got silence when it mattered most.
This is DeWanna Bonner. I wouldn't do anything differently. I think my journey is my journey. I'm going to accept that. It carried me to where I am now in Phoenix, and it happened that way for a reason. It didn't happen that way for a reason. You forced yourself out of Indiana, DeWanna.
Then everything started to click. Rumors swirled that Bonner had no plans to return, and the personal reasons excuse quickly lost credibility as days stretched into weeks. Eventually, players began referring to her in the past tense during interviews, signaling what everyone was starting to suspect. She was done. The moment it all became undeniable was when reports surfaced that Bonner was eyeing a move to the Phoenix Mercury, not after the season, but immediately, while still under contract with Indiana. The audacity was staggering. Her absence wasn't due to family emergencies or health concerns. She was simply unhappy and wanted out.
What was it like having DeWanna Bonner return to Indiana, and what were your thoughts on the fan reception tonight?
Honestly, that got nothing to do with me. I think DB returned because we were playing Phoenix, and so that happened to be that. The fans chose to do what they wanted to do, but for us, it's about paying attention to what we have to do here, and that was coming in and getting a big win, which we were able to do.
But the real twist of the night, DeWanna Bonner completely flopped. Just 4 points in 21 minutes on a miserable 1-for-4 shooting. This was supposed to be the veteran scorer making a statement. Instead, she got locked down by the very teammate she walked out on. And while Bonner faded, the Fever flourished. Indiana lit up the scoreboard with a 107-101 win, not just proving their dominance, but sending a message, Team unity beats selfishness every time. It wasn't just a W, it was poetic payback. Bonner, now the outsider, got booed in the house she bailed on, while the players who stayed loyal were thriving without the drama. Honestly, her messy exit might have been the best thing to happen to this squad. It made room for hungry players like Ari McDonald and Chloe BBY, who stepped in with passion and purpose. And with Caitlin Clark's return just around the corner, the Fever's chemistry is clicking at exactly the right time. If you're glad Bonner's gone, drop a good riddance in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that bell, and tap the video on your screen to keep the drama going.